Well, hi there everyone, and welcome back to Infinity, where we are in our silly little house thing, which is still looking a little bit dodgy in places, but that doesn't really matter because we are not really going to be here for too much longer. Let me just grab me an apple. I have been grabbing me many apples, so I'm not going to be starving to death anytime soon. I've also been doing much chopping down of pine trees. You might notice, you might be able to see from here, or you might not. There are a fewer pine trees up there. I've also been taking down that bit of wood for wood. Hello, cow. So what is the plan for today? Well, the plan for today is basically to move from here to up to there, because that is where ultimately I'm going to live. This can be my little retreat by the beach type of thing. So what am I going to do for up there? Well, obviously what I'm going to need to do is move stuff. And one thing which I do know which I do need from down here. Now, I'm going to want to build many things up there. And to do that I'm going to need an awful lot of supplies. Particularly I'm going to need an awful lot of cobblestone. Now I could be mining for that. Obviously cobblestone isn't exactly the hardest thing to get your hands on, but it would be really useful if I had some way to automatically make cobblestone, and for that I want to have a cobblestone generator. So one thing I do want to get whilst I am just here is a bucket of lava, which I can use to make a cobblestone generator, just so I don't have to drop and fall into the lava. This place is a complete death trap. I really should cover that over actually with some building dirt, because one day that will end very badly for me. There we go. And of course another thing which would be really useful would be a little bit of water to make an infinite water source, which I can use up there. Just like that. Let us now go and see what I have been getting up to up there. Now another thing which I do actually want to grab whilst I'm here is, if we can find any, I want to get some of those mystical red flowers. I know there's loads about, which means I won't be able to find any for ages. I don't really want to nick the poppies. There's some mystical reds over here. They will do nicely. So these are just the mystical red flowers, which I believe you can do all sorts of things here with. Yeah, that's good. I just want to nab a couple because in the future I'm thinking for this build that what I want to make is that's the tall mystical red flower, isn't it? That is fine. Yeah, I'm not going to nick them all, just a few. My theme for this build is going to be red, basically. I'm going to attempt to build a city with a colour palette which includes red. The reason I've chosen that is because the acacia wood has a sort of an orangey reddy tint, and I think I can build things which go together quite nicely with those two colours. And I don't normally use red because it's not my favourite colour. So that's as good a reason as any to use it, obviously. Right, let's get in here because I'm going to want some of my ores, which means I'm going to need to empty this out just a little of all of my random chaff. What else don't I particularly need to take up just at the minute? I sort of need everything else. Perhaps I'll leave a stack of pine wood down there, because I really want to get some of this stuff up with me. Wow, I've made over a stack of iron ore. I didn't know I had that much. Copper would be useful up there just at the minute as well. Do I have over a stack of silver as well? I did some good mining down there, didn't I? I'm impressed. Right, I'm obviously just taking stuff up which is going to be useful to me. What else will be useful would be There's some stone in there, actually, quite a bit. Some charcoal, and I'll probably leave the furnace. Leave it all here for when I return. Let us head on up to there. Right, and let us see if we can fly up there this time. If we can, remember the controls. And we are off. So yes, here is this is really rather slow, isn't it? The mountain. I have chopped down many trees off this mountain. You saw I had several stacks of stuffs. Oh, it's quite quick when it gets going, isn't it? I think this thing has a bit of inertia. Yeah, it does. I'm going to crash. Ow. Okay, and I shall pop it down probably somewhere near my bed so I don't lose it. Ow. G is down, G is down. And it is that key to get out. There we go. Okay, it can sit there, that is fine. The sun is going down, so it's probably a good time for a quick nap. Right, so our whole new home. I'm going to be living on the surface for a little bit, it looks like. So let us get a bit started. One thing which we're definitely going to need is, of course, a crafting bench, which we will turn into a crafting station. All good standard stuffs. Another thing which would be really useful would be a chest to put things in. In fact, we probably need many chests, but for the minute I'm going to pop a chest down just here. I'm probably going to have to skim off a lot of the top of this hill just to pop all of the ores in. There we go, that clears my inventory out quite a bit. Another thing which obviously we're going to need is another chest to pop next to that. Okay, we're going to need a... Get all of you out, please. Wrong button. We're going to need actually probably a pair of furnaces to start with. Two. You can go over here. Pop some charcoal in you, get some, actually probably some birch on the go. I might see if I can incorporate the pine wood in here. And whilst we are waiting, what I'm going to do is pop some of my iron in. I don't want to pop all of it in just yet, just a little tiny bit. Okay, let's have a quick wander around up here. You can see that this is really rather gorgeous. There's a really rather nice bit up here as well. This will probably be a large tower one day. There is a way up here somewhere, but I have lost it. There we go, the view from up here is really quite spectacular. However, I do think I need to skim the top off of this because I don't really want to be building from the mud level. I want to I like to build with the landscape. Eesh. But at the same time, I don't particularly want to have sort of loads of mud on show on the top. I sort of want to take it down to the level where there is some stone. So that will be my first task, which I'm going to do right now. Just give myself a reasonably flat base to build on top of on here and incorporate into my design. I have no idea how it will look yet. I can't even begin to imagine. As I say, the style will be red and, well, grey, I guess, because bricks and cobblestone and all those sorts of things, but beyond that I don't really know. My shovel has broken, which means it is time to pop down you and repair my shovel. Shouldn't I have a... Inventory full of cobblestone. There we go. One repaired shovel. So obviously it would be handy to have the smeltery up here as well, although I might just nip down and use it down there whenever I really need to. Because all I really need to do is make up a few more bits and pieces. I will so fall off that one day, and I think it's lava below as well. A few more bits and pieces of... what am I trying to say? I'm trying to say things like pickaxes made out of iron, things like that. An iron shovel would probably be useful as well. Although I don't have tons of iron just at the minute. So maybe not just yet, but we shall see. Get all of this layer out, and that would be a very, very good start. There we go. Probably actually want to go a couple more this way. I'm thinking this will be a sort of hall, which will live just about here. It will certainly be my starting room around here. And this will be where my machines live to start with. I don't want anything too big. And guess what? It is actually going to be square. I never build square, but I am going to do here. So just take out one more bit of this flooring and then we'll see where we are with my cooking off of things. Well, I might as well just stop there, mightn't I? Right, we should have plenty more charcoal. We do. We have 22 irons. So what I might do is actually make up yet another furnace. Now another furnace will just let me cook off more because, to be honest, I'm doing lots and lots of cooking of stuff. Let's have one up there. So what I want to make is good old thermal expansion and a machine called an igneous extruder. It is a classic recipe. I don't want to make the resonant one, however. I just want to make the basic one, which shall be basic. That is now, you'll notice these things have changed a lot. They are tin gears, iron and glass. A tin gear still just needing iron, so you don't need the old style machine frame. You need copper gears as well, so I'm going to need to cook up some copper and a bit of glass. Now fortunately I did go and get a load of sand, so that is what can go in there. So that is very nearly finished, so I shall just very quickly repair up my shovel. And one thing which would be interesting is to see just how this pine actually looks as a flooring material. Yeah, it's quite yellowy, but I think it will do for in here just for now. I feel like we should be on that stone layer by now. Yeah, we sort of are. I will probably just have to touch in the side of the hill, get the scaffolding out, and replace some bits with stone at some point in the future, just to make it look better, but that is not for now. You do not need to see me do that. Get out this, get out the limestone, and pop in a bit of flooring. So this will be our first machine room. This will be the machine room which we'll be looking at. It'll have a quite nice view, and it'll sort of be the first room in this place. It won't be too stunning, but hey, it will be a start. So let's just get up a bit of pine and we will just cut this in. It will go along here. Obviously I'm leaving a lip for the edge. I guess it will go right up to the edge here. Now it will probably be a slightly that shaped room along here. So it'll be a minorly L-shaped room because, as you well know, I cannot bear to have anything perfectly square. It is a curse, I am afraid. So it will be something which looks a bit like that. So how does a big block of yellow floor look? It looks okay, I guess. It looks quite clean. And is that... It's going to be a bit narrow up this end. I suppose that will be a chest's end. I want this one wider, really, so I'm going to have to stake off a bit more of that hill just to put it in. But I suspect the ground will be higher on that side anyway. I'm going to build up and build steps up along there. If you don't normally watch me, you should know that typically I do make things up on camera as I go along because I find that a much more entertaining way to work. You make far more stupid mistakes that way. So I do need a bit of copper and I do need a bit of tin. So copper, pop you away. Now, shall I just cook you all off, or shall I get you cooking something else? No, I shall cook you all off because there is plenty. Right, I think we have enough stuff to actually start making this. One thing which I do definitely need as the sun goes down is an infinite water source, so I'm just going to pop one in there for now because it does not matter where it is exactly. Just at the moment. There we go, get one bucket of that back. Right, can I sleep just yet? Apparently not. Okay, so what we will do then is super quickly, we need to make up... What do we need to make up? We need to make up the basic machine frame. That was a tin gear. So tin gear, 3 pieces of tin surrounding a piece of iron. Go on to surround that with iron, which I think was in the corners actually. And a little bit of glass, and what we should get is our basic machine frame. Now the machine frames have changed a lot in 1.7.10. I'm going to get into bed before creepers spawn. Because you now get different tiers of machine frames and basically they don't change much except for you can apply upgrades to your machines. Now I'm not going to do that with this because this is a very simple machine and it is my first machine and I don't have many supplies, but in the future I can make better quality machines. It is a new thing in this version. To be honest, I only actually need 8 of these. You can make copper shears. Superb. I did not know that at all. Right, a pair of copper gears. We also need 1 servo motor, and you know how much I love making servo motors. I always make them the wrong way around, and I have again. 1 servo motor, 2 copper gears. I think I've got everything I need now. I need a piston. There's always one thing, isn't there? So piston is nice and easy. It is redstone, iron, wooden planks and cobble. For a piston, 2 copper gears, a pneumatic servo, machine frame and 2 pieces of glass is going to get us the igneous extruder. It is probably one of my favourite machines. It requires no energy to work and it will just sit around pumping out cobblestone constantly, which is really useful. Now suppose actually it should be the first machine in here which can just probably sit, it's going to sit right in the corner here. It is now. It will just sit right there, so it can make cobblestone, stone or obsidian. If it makes cobblestone it doesn't use up any of the water or lava, so just right click on it with a bucket, it fills it with water, right click on it with a lava bucket, it fills it with lava, and it will start to make cobblestone. So I can now start to get all of the stone which I need, which means I can grab some of this stuff and start to cook off a little bit of stone. That is cooking off that. I don't want that cooked off yet, but I will want some more wood cooked off pretty soon. And up here, wood is one of those things which I'm really not very short about. Paula is still here with me. Paula T. Pine tree felling machine. So she can get me a bit more wood whenever I want, and I could always just grow more of those machines. Okay, so we are starting to get a start. So this area will be a set of steps going up to the higher level. So that tree definitely needs to come out, and it will go down to there, which will probably be... I have no idea what that will be, but it will be something. I have been looking, and I have noticed that if we come over here, this area sort of over here, there's a nice apple tree here, sort of goes down a bit. Just there. So I'm thinking I can wind the entranceway down and round to the left down there. That would be my preference. What are these flowers? They're mystical light grey flowers. How very lovely. Let us hop on back over here to see that this has made us up 50 cobble just as quickly as that, and it will keep obviously going forever. Right. Okay, now we do need to also start thinking about machines. So we have two possible different ways we could be making machines. We could go the thermal expansion route, or we could go the industrial craft route. And seeing as how I always go the thermal expansion route, I think we might start off with industrial craft just for a change. I've not done it for a while. So industrial craft 2, let's have a look. Industrial Craft 2 has a great many different types of machines. The first one which I'm most interested in, of course, would be the macerator wherever thou art. There are so many of things in this nowadays. The macerator is fairly simple. It requires flint, cobblestone and an electronic circuit. Now, the one thing which industrial craft does need a lot of is rubber. It needs tons of rubber. Now, rubber isn't actually the easiest thing to get. I don't think I have actually seen a rubber tree yet, you know. So I think that might have to be my next little quest. Go and find me some rubber trees. So guys, I think that will be it for this episode. I'm now going to attempt to go and find some rubber trees. I know that there are some about. I'm sure I have seen some in that forest down there. So thank you very much for watching this episode. I do hope that you have enjoyed it. I'm now going to stop this being quite such a death trap. As ever, do like and subscribe if you did, do leave a comment, and most importantly, of course, I hope to see you once again next time.